You know those events, so special, so significant, you say, I just have to be there. I just have to experience it. Well, this is one of those. Motul Petit Le Mans in the state of Georgia, not too far north of downtown Atlanta. And this is an annual tradition. This site, people boast about being part of that crowd, that pre-race crowd, and it seems on an annual basis, it just seems to grow. It is a colossal scene on the front straight here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Oh, and by the way, it's Championship Day in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, where you will see 4 different classes of cool sports cars on the track at the one time, where there are 4 different championships to be decided. Yes, 34 cars in total you will see race here on this historic racetrack today. And there are those who stand a chance of being on this wall of champions. The drivers, the teams that say, we have won Petit Le Mans. But it's a 10-hour classic, and there is a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of driving, and a lot of competition that will play out right here today on a beautiful fall day. Getting ready for Motul Petit Le Mans. There's contact before they even get to the green between Felipe Nasr and Ricky Taylor. Let's go clean through that final turn 12. Everybody wants to establish themselves on this opening lap.
Here's Dane Cameron in that bright orange and white Acura, number 6, feeling the heat from behind from the 2 Mazda prototypes.
You see the Mazdas behind Dane Cameron. They know he's going for a championship. They're going to be aggressive on him. They're going to do everything they can to get around him early.
Race leader is Felipe Nasr and is still a title contender. They want to take it all the way to the end. They've been a little frustrated this season. They still can win. The Ferrari leads GTLM in the hands of James Collado.
Felipe Nasr has been the dominant player here this weekend. They have led most of the practice session. What a lap he put together to claim that pole position. And look at him stretch the gap on Ricky Taylor on this opening lap.
And Felipe Nasr, we're talking about traffic. We want to talk about it for all 10 hours. This is the second time he's going through the GTD field. But saying if people are saving fuel, I don't know if they are, Calvin, because right now his fast lap is over a 2 2/10 quicker than anybody else in the DPI field.
The Georgia clay flying there, that's going to be a story all day long. But I think for this team, they just rolled this car off the truck and that immediately had the grip of the performance they were looking for, and it's just been displayed in the confidence of the drivers. They are up for the battle. The only way they can win this championship title and wrestle away from the 6-car Montoya and Cameron is to win. With Timmy Keene on that pit box, he's going to be making the calls to stay aggressive, stay up front, keep that track position, and dictate this race here today.
So again, if this car wins, the championship leader at the moment, Dane Cameron, won Pablo Montoya, and this year's Indy 500 champion Simon Pagenaud must finish 9th or worse. There are 11 Daytona Prototype Internationals in the field, so it's a stretch, but it is a possibility. And in LMP2, there are only 2 cars. However, with Matt McMurray clinching this championship, there's already been a good battle because Kyle Masson led for a good portion of the opening stint. Now McMurray has taken his car to the front with a feel-good factor, knowing that he's the champ. GT Le Mans class leading car is the Ferrari 488 of Pierre Guidi for Risi Competizione. A little further back is the 912 Porsche of Lawrence Vanthoor, and has a very good chance of being crowned champion with his longtime teammate Earl Bamber in the factory Porsche by finishing 7th or better. They will be the champions. So we've shown you 3 of the 4. Let's make it 4 of the 4 classes. This was Brian Sellers in the Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini. We saw that great arm wrestle just before we went to the break between Brian and Cooper McNeil in the Scuderia Corsa WeatherTech Ferrari. But Brian has now cleared out to the tune of about 7 seconds.
Yeah, and this team has just had a struggle of a year and finally got back on track at Laguna Seca, Calvin. Brian Sellers, ultra fast, super consistent, but just seemed like nothing was going right. Corey Lewis has come on board halfway through this season, and at Laguna Seca, this Lamborghini was on rails, and they did everything right.
And this weekend didn't start well for them. They drafted in Marco Sifri, one of those sneaky silvers, Tanzan, that every team is looking for as their 3rd driver for these endurance events. He went off early in the running, down through the SS, damaged the car. They missed 2nd practice, and track time is key. You've got to keep up with the evolving of the racetrack. And missing a whole session, you'd think they'd be on the back foot, but so far so good.
Big crash. Kyle Masson, rather Cameron Castles, I should say, in the 38, the LMP2 car,
And that's at the bottom of the hill before turn 5. He impacted driver's right. That is a huge hit. I think he missed the tires, I would guess, which is very unforgiving.
You can see Cameron moving around inside the cockpit of that LMP2 car in the Performance Tech Motorsports car. And the first caution of this 10-hour classic is out. And that's a lucky escape.
And down through the S's there, that's the car's at max load. As you go down through there, you're transitioning left, right, and the car is having to hold into the racetrack, and it's so easy for the car to have a step out, and then once it does, we talk about it, the high-speed nature of this racetrack. Most of the time when you have an issue like that, it's going to be a big impact.
Certainly at that speed at the bottom of the hill, like you say. Now, we don't know if there might have been another car involved. Maybe there was traffic involved, but it's good to see him moving around.
Who's involved? The 7 car, Elio Castroneves.
We'll see here. Cameron Castles is behind the Corvette. That looks like Elio.
He's going to go for it here. Elio's going to try to shoot inside, and the downhill right-hander gets through cleanly.
It could be the next.
I think that might have been the 6. I think Elio's coming now. Oh, 38 gets wide.
So Elio had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
And
that's a big hit.
And talking with a lot of the teams, something was brought up that I didn't think about. All the cars running Michelins this year, they said the marbles were going to be even. There's going to be a ton of marbles. So we saw Cameron Castles. He got forced out wide, got in the marbles, and once he did, it's like driving on ice. Had to really slow down, and unfortunately, Elio had nowhere to go.
They're doing that. Oh, Crashly!
And that is the 14 Aimvasser Sullivan Lexus. That's Townsend's teammate car.
Parker Chase in the 14 in the Lamborghini.
Is it the Magnus Lamborghini? It's a little hard to see with the dust cloud.
Looking for the 44. That's
the
John
Magnus.
Potter getting together in turn 1. And remember, you had Castroneves coming through trying to catch back up in a prototype as they approach turn 1. Parker Chase back underway.
Is John Potter able to get his Lamborghini going, though? That is in such a precarious position right there. Boy, oh boy.
Local yellow flag warning drivers as they approach, and this is dicey.
Really dicey. Easy for him to stall right there on the exit of turn 1.
We stay green.
I think he made sure he wasn't going to stall. That thing was lit up. This is how it happened.
Looks like John Potter gets down the inside of the 14 car and one gets in maybe a little too wide. And once he does that, loses the rear of the car, and unfortunately Parker Chase had nowhere to go to follow him. So it was
let's get another angle here. On board with Parker Chase looking out the back. You can hear the contact. Stays in the throttle. That sounds like Baja 1000 at that point.
And earlier today, simply by taking the green flag here at Road Atlanta, the combination of Trent Hinman and Mario Farnbacher became the 2019 GT Daytona IMSA WeatherTech champions.
Very special for Michael Shank, that whole Meyer Shank Racing team, but I believe I'm correct in saying this, that this is Mike's first professional championship as a team owner. You know, he's a big brother to me, one of my best friends. I've been able to be a part of this race team for really the last 13 years. And Townsend, that is your race car that's up against the fence.
Oh, man, I just got sick to my stomach. Aaron Telix just got in on cold tires. Oh, tough break. You can see damage to the left side. Looks like the steering might be broken.
Caution's out.
Full course caution. This is a very talented young American driver who seems to have just got caught out on his outlap.
There may have been a rush. There was a rush.
Just turned right into the side of the prototype there.
I'm not sure he knew the 10 was there.
Oh boy.
But I don't.
Like Zivier.
Where that 10 car was, there wasn't a lot of extra room for Aaron Telitz to go anywhere. So it almost looks like he gets hip checked by the 10. Oh, the Corvette.
Corvette is off the track.
Yeah. That looks like right in turn 2 to turn 3.
There's a lot of guys sliding off the track up there right now. It's getting grippy up there, and if you miss the line, look at this, it gets turned on by the prototype. So that was a pretty big crash.
That's Juan Pietrahita in the 85 Heat. Just kicks it off the wall. But yeah, that's the thing, as the track starts to build marbles, these DPI cars are going to want to try to lean back over and get back set up for the corners, and the 4 car just doesn't disappear. He's still there.
But Dan Binks did not really enjoy that ride for Marcel Fessler. Dirk Mueller has been running in the top 2. The 2 Ford GTs have been in contention, and he is stuck. And what they often try to do is, if a potential issue, a potential caution, if it's not in a huge danger area, they like to get through the pit cycle, and they have, and I think the 911 got in on time, and now we go full course caution.
And he's way off the track. It looks like by the skid marks, he lost it real early on the brakes, so you can see those skid marks, and he went all the way through the gravel trap, so it'll be interesting to see if he got collected by somebody under braking. Looks like he's by himself, locks the rears, and loses the rear end. Really no damage, but he's buried in the gravel trap, and it's going to take them a couple laps to get him out of there. Oh, got a tire rubbing here. I don't know if that's a tire or engine. Looks like it's exhaust on the Acura. Power going away on the championship winning car.
Uh-oh.
It's a good time for this to happen now, considering they've already wrapped up the championship.
Nobody wants to celebrate a championship, though, back in the garage. So let's see what the damage is for Justin Marks right now. Running 4th overall. The 44 is many laps down. Andy Lally just getting by him.
All coming out of the left-hand bank of the exhaust, so.
No question, the smoke is coming from the tailpipes themselves, an internal engine issue, which they're going to try and resolve.
Whoa, the 10 is around. That's Renger van der Zande. That's up at turn 6 at the top end of the circuit. And van der Zande's been in a pretty decent battle with Helio Castro-Neves.
Tough corner to get a turnaround. He needs the corner workers to give him the okay. He does it nicely, stays to the inside. Such a fast corner, turn 6, the one that's preceding where he's at right now. He came out online. Car could be coming through there blind and not see him.
What happened to the defending race winner? Coming up on traffic inside one of the JDC prototypes. That's Misha Gutberg.
Go on board with the 10 car here. Gets a good draft down the straightaway here. It's a tough, you don't hit the brakes a lot, you carry a lot of speed. See that? Renger tried to throw it down the inside. Misha was not allowing that.
Meanwhile, up front, have a look at this. The 5 and the 77 for the lead of the race. Mike Conway's got it. He's stolen the lead away from Tristan Nunez. Back straight, heading towards turn 10A.
Out in the marbles, too, so he was being pressed by Nunez. Almost looks like they made a little contact there, a little bit of locking up. Smoke, and Conway pulls off a nice pass.
Robbie Foley, I think, was through the dirt heading down into the S's.
So Mies puts the Audi out in front. The Land Motorsport Audi. And here is Robbie Foley now in the Liqui-Moly BMW for Turner Motorsport.
I think that was possibly Felipe Fraga that got into the side of him, trying to fight to stay on the lead lap or get his lap back in contact.
Fraga, yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a little ugly.
Yeah, the 33 had just come off pit road trying to stay on the lead lap, got over the curbing in turn 3. We see on board here, listen.
Yeah, luckily for Robbie Foley, there's a little access road. There's a little different configuration to the rest track down through the S's, and he's able to utilize that, so probably not too much damage, but scary moment for Robbie Foley there. He's had a pretty dominant car here today.
Remember earlier in the broadcast, I said anything can happen at Petit Le Mans, and it has. With just over half an hour remaining, the 4th full course caution. There hasn't been a caution in this race, as we're almost 9.5 hours in. There hasn't been a caution since 4 hours 42 into the race. It's between Catherine Legg, Tony Vielander. Boom. Turn 10A, and Vilander in the WeatherTech Ferrari spins and gets stuck.
Vilander trying to get under Catherine Legge. We see here, late braking. Catherine turns in. Vilander committed. Contact. The 63 gets the worst end of the deal.
It's another lockup from Albuquerque, and he's gone. He's off. The race leader is off. His teammate's about to overtake him. Gotcha. So Albuquerque goes from first to third in one corner.
I wonder if he's got a cut tire or something. So much smoke and debris on the racetrack right now, but there you can see it. Just lets go, loses the braking point, then he's in the dirt, nowhere to go but straight across the grass.
Yeah, and that big puff of smoke was the brake rotor basically exploding. And along with that rotor was his chances of winning this race.
That's it. It's over for the Mustang sampling number 5. And Felipe Albuquerque cannot believe it.
Wow.
Final lap, there's the white. So Pippo Durrani's on his way home for the Whelen Engineering car, and that means time is running out for Bill Auberlen and Felipe Fraga.
They'll have a lap and a half, Lee. Turn 7.
Fraga been so good every lap. He's nailed that corner. Gives that little bit of gap.
Will he have enough fuel? The leaders will not get to them, so it will not stop these guys from taking that lap. Now the prototype car will have an effect on Fraga's ability to get into turn 10. He's going to box him out. Doesn't leave the opening for Auberlen. He goes for it.
Bill Auberlen's going to turn under him here. He's going to do the undercut, try to get under him, but Fraga puts the power down.
He gave him a rub, trying to loosen him up. Auberlen is looking at all possible angles.
Here comes the GT Le Mans leader, Collado.
And this is the overall leader, and in DPI, the Whelen Engineering Cadillac of Pippo Durrani. It's a Sebring win, it's a Petit Le Mans victory win. Then, for the 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac, the championship has eluded them, but the race win is there, and now look at this, Auberlen on Fraga. Fraga's gone off. Fraga's gone off track.
Fraga's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
Well, it's there, but Mies is all over him. The pressure's still on Auberlen.
Fraga's run out of fuel. It's going to be down to Auberlen and Mies for the win.
On board with Mies now. That's Auberlen right in front of him. 5 corners to go. Can Auberlen bring it home and get that record tying victory?
Bill, he's loose off of turn 7. Mies has an opportunity. We know this BMW has straight line speed, but will Mies send it into turn 10?
Has to. He's running out of opportunities.
Auberlen has to protect. He has to take the middle of the road. He knows that Mies is going to be going for it. They're not in any championship hunt right now. Mies looks to the inside.
Thought about it, tried, but he wasn't close enough. Bill Auberlen, an American sports car legend, is going to tie Scott Pruitt for 60 IMSA sports car wins and win the Motul Petit Le Mans in GT Daytona on his birthday. Will Turner and the Turner Motorsport team celebrate. How about that for a thrilling finish? James Collado wins for Risi Competizione in GT Le Mans. And Pippo Durrani, there's Felipe Fraga. We knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be tight. The team boss, Bill Riley, told us that. And it has not worked out on the final lap for Fraga. It's another Ferrari victory for Giuseppe Risi at Petit Le Mans. And the champion in DPI is Acura Team Penske. Dane Cameron won, Pablo Montoya. It's all fireworks for those guys. What an ending.
The 912, Porsche, Earl Bamber, Lawrence Vantour, they win the championship. Man, the Petit Le Mans never disappoints.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.